The Zeekr X is being positioned as something the compact electric SUV class was not really prepared for. It comes from a brand that, until recently, almost nobody in Europe could name, and it sits in a part of the market where buyers usually trade design and performance away in exchange for a sensible price. Zeekr is refusing to make that trade, and the result is a small SUV that behaves like a far more expensive car, wearing a far more modest badge. Seen here in Palace Beige with a contrasting black roof, the X looks like a concept that quietly slipped into production with very few changes. The surfacing is smooth and almost sculptural. The headlights sit as thin vertical slivers low in the bumper, and the frameless doors open with flush handles that sit completely level with the bodywork until you need them. There are no fake vents and no aggressive creases trying to make it look faster than it is. It is restrained, which on a car from a new brand matters more than people expect because it signals confidence rather than a desire to shout. Inside is where the X starts to feel genuinely premium. The cabin is wrapped in soft gray leather with rose gold accents threaded through the seats, the door pulls, and the center console. And the textured dashboard breaks up what could have been a flat expanse of plastic. A large central touchscreen handles almost everything, and it can physically slide across toward the passenger when they want to take over media or navigation. A separate driver display sits ahead of the wheel, which is something a few rivals have dropped entirely, and the rotary gear selector on the column frees up the space between the seats. The build quality, the materials, and the way the trim is finished all feel a class above what the price suggests. The front cabin carries that theme further, with a thoughtful approach to storage and charging. The redesigned center console hides an enclosed compartment rather than leaving everything on show, and the wireless charging pad is ventilated so your phone does not overheat while it tops up. Two adults sit with plenty of head and shoulder room. The seats are heavily bolstered, yet still comfortable over distance, and the low dashboard combined with the tall glasshouse makes the interior feel airy and easy to place on narrow streets. If reviews like this help you work out which small electric SUV is actually worth your time, subscribe so the next one lands in front of you. The rear cabin is the one area where the X reminds you of its size. At 4.4 meters long, this is a genuinely compact car, so taller passengers will find knee room tight behind a taller driver, and the swooping roofline trims a little headroom. Mercedes and the rest of the segment face the same compromise, so the X is not unusual here, and what space exists is finished to the same standard as the front, with the rose gold trim continuing into the door panels and soft materials where your arms naturally rest. Boot space measures 362 liters, which expands to 904 liters with the rear seats folded, and there's a small frunk under the bonnet, size for your charging cables. Those numbers will not embarrass a family hatchback, but for a stylish urban SUV aimed at couples and small families, they are perfectly usable, and the underfloor storage keeps the cables out of the main load area. Under the surface, the top Privilege version is where the X stops pretending to be a sensible city car. Its dual-motor all-wheel drive system produces 428 horsepower and 543 Nm of torque, enough to reach 60 miles per hour in around 3.8 seconds. That is genuine sports car pace in a car the size of a Super Mini, and the instant delivery makes it feel even quicker around town. The trade-off is range, because the 64 kilowatt-hour battery returns up to 249 miles on the European test cycle, which is modest next to longer-legged rivals. The recovery is the charging, since the X accepts up to 150 kilowatts on a fast charger and a full 22 kilowatt onboard charger for home. So you spend less time waiting than the range alone implies, and the smaller battery costs less to fill. What the Zeekr X really represents is a shift in where premium design and performance come from. A few years ago, a small SUV with this cabin, this acceleration, and this level of finish would have worn a German badge and a much higher price. Zeekr has built it, priced it below the established names, and backed it with a long warranty in a segment that rarely sees one. If this is the direction the compact class is heading, the brands that have owned it for years are about to have a much harder time justifying their numbers. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one, and don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.